Hey guys, welcome back to Rooted Homeschool. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Christina, a mom of 5, so I'm cooking for a family of 7, and that's what I have in store for you guys today. In today's video is one of our favorite dinners. This soup is great if you are dairy-free, if you're lactose intolerant, if you're trying not to eat cheese or animal products, or if you just want a little bit of a healthier version, a little less fat, or a lot less fat. And it is my plant-based version of broccoli cheddar soup. So let me show you what I had to get started. But first, coffee to get me going. So this is my favorite coffee. I just do the Starbucks iced coffee, and I use the Califia Farms toasted coconut almond milk and a little bit of maple syrup just for a little bit of sweetness, not a lot, and no ice cubes as usual around here. So to get started, we have potatoes, carrots, celery, onion, lemon, white beans, vegetable broth, and of course broccoli. And the first step in this process is obviously to wash our vegetables, which I've already done, and then start cutting things up. So I've started to cut my onion and my celery. And what I do to save time, instead of cutting everything up in the beginning, is I cut things up as I go in the order that I need them. So onions, celery, carrots, garlic, all of those things will go in the pot first with a little bit of olive oil. So I'll cut those up and get those in the pot first. I don't follow specific amounts on any of this. I just kind of eyeball it. So I had some large carrots and some baby carrots. So I just used all the carrots that I had. You could even use a little bit more carrot than what I had. It will make it a little bit more orange and give you the look of really like that broccoli cheddar soup. This is really my plant-based recreation of the Panera broccoli cheddar soup, which I used to get all the time. It was my favorite thing to get from Panera before I went plant-based. And so this was my version or recreation of that soup. So lots of garlic, olive oil, some salt and some pepper will go in there, along with some parsley and thyme. Just a little bit. You don't need a ton of any of these things. Thyme you can be a little bit generous with. Parsley, I don't put as much as I put in of the thyme. And then I just kind of stir it in as those veggies continue to cook a little bit. And then I add some smoked paprika, both for color and flavor. It gives it a nice, mild, smoky flavor. Cayenne pepper, I use the tiniest sprinkle because it can get very spicy very quick and just not good for my little ones. Then I juice a whole lemon. I usually do it in a bowl in case there are a ton of seeds. In this case, there weren't any seeds, which is rare. And then I go ahead and mix that in with the veggies as well. Mix it around. And then I will add my veggie stock. So I usually use 2 full boxes of veggie stock. And then usually I have to add a little bit of water too. So once I add in all the veggie stock, I'll turn up the heat to get this to start to boil almost all the way on high. So medium, high, depending on your stove. And while that's starting to heat up more, I'll cut up my potatoes and get them in the pot right away, because really potatoes you want to boil along with the water for the most part. And so once I get all the potatoes in, I'll bring that up to a nice boil, and then I'll cook it as if I'm trying to cook potatoes at that point. Hey guys, soup is currently boiling, so the potatoes need to cook along with the other veggies that are still cooking. Before I put the broccoli in, I will take out a lot of that and put it in the blender along with the beans in order to get like that nice creamy consistency of the soup. Right now I am going to make some croutons. So I'm using a couple of bagels that babies have like bitten, and instead of wasting them, we threw them in a baggie. They're probably like a drop on the sale side, and so basically I'll just cut them, toss them in olive oil, season them a teeny bit, and then throw them on a baking pan in the oven while this soup cooks. So I really like to use a layer of foil over my baking pan just to make cleanup a little bit easier. Sometimes I don't even need to clean my pan if I do that. So I'm just cutting up the bagel in what I would consider crouton-sized pieces, I guess, and throwing them on the baking pan. So once I have them cut up and ready to go, I'll add a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, a little bit of garlic, and then I will just toss that all. I'll end up adding a little bit more olive oil, just a drizzle. And then before I put that in the oven, I'm taking out some of the veggies from the soup, most of the veggies before I put in the broccoli, so that the broccoli is sort of just steaming / boiling in the veggie broth. And I'll scoop half of the veggies that I took out into the blender along with the white beans. And then what I'll do is I will add in some almond milk, so a little bit of liquid, and add a little bit of a creaminess to it, but not too much because you don't want too much of the flavor of the almond milk. So just a little bit, and then I will start to blend. And then as I blend, I'm going to go ahead and put my croutons in the oven on 350. They probably take about 7 to 10 minutes, but again, I'm not the best at times, so I just keep an eye on it. Once everything's blended, I'll add in a little bit of nutritional yeast. I'd say about 1/3 of a cup. I probably only have about 1/4 cup, if that, left in here, so I work with what I have. And I added a little bit more smoked paprika and garlic powder for just some extra flavor. And then once that's blended, I add that back into the pot. The broccoli is pretty much cooked at this point. And then I start to mix everything back together. I'll put the other half of the veggies that I didn't blend back in. And the reason I don't blend them is I like the soup a little bit heartier, a little bit chunkier. My family seems to like it better that way as well. So it's creamy and it does thicken up, but it does also have the chunks of potatoes and carrot. And then I just kind of cut through the broccoli a little bit so they're not too big. Just so they're a little bit more of bite-sized pieces, and my croutons are perfectly cooked. And there is my finished soup with some croutons on top, a little bit of chive, a little bit of salt and pepper, and this is absolutely delicious. How is it?
It's a taste test, so I don't know. I'll give you a check or X.
All right, let's see. Test it out.
I'm going to take some of this. Is that okay? What the heck?
How is it, Sethi?
Good.
How is it, Jeej? Do you like it?
You get a check mark.
Is it good?
Good.
Yay! Okay, guys, that is my plant-based broccoli cheddar soup. Let me know if you try this recipe. Let me know if you make something similar and you have any tips for us. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you're not already. Click the notifications bell so that you can get notified when we have a new video coming out. We have plenty more food, homeschooling, big family life, mom life coming out all of the time. So if you're new here, please introduce yourself in the comments below. I hope to see you in my next video, and until next time, stay rooted.